So what's first, Andrew?
Well, I thought we'd start off strong with a couple of showstoppers. So these first two cars would have to be two of the most highly modified cars in the country at the moment. Shane and Christine's Puresx 180SX combines a whole different bunch of car cultures into one to create something totally unique, while Bob's King Z 300ZX is totally insane. He's customised it in every single way possible. He built it himself in his own home as a 6-year project.
Wow, I think it's pretty cool when the car owners actually build the car themselves. And Shane and Christine's 180SX goes to show that I think there's still some things we can learn from our elders in the car scene. Take a look and enjoy.
Import cars are supposed to be driven by young people, right? Old people are supposed to drive old school cars, right? Well, don't be fooled. Sometimes the older generation's touch can help create one of the most individual and highly awarded import cars in the country. Shane and Christine have proven that point with what's regarded as the best 180SX showpiece in Australia.
Hello, my name's Shane. We're from Adelaide and this is our 180SX.
Hi, my name's Christine. I'm from Adelaide and this is my 180SX.
Most of our kids have grown older and moved away, so we really didn't need the family car anymore. So we looked around for something that was a little bit sportier. When we first got it, no, we didn't plan to modify it at all.
Initially the intention was for it to be my daily driver, which it was.
I wanted to go ahead and expand the car in different directions, so we sort of went out and bought a Skyline for her so we could take the 180 off the road. I think she was pretty happy with it.
What was a clean, mildly modified street car has now become a full-blown showstopper.
We both had the bug, yeah.
It's very contagious, as most people know. It just grew from there. I joined clubs, got to meet people, got to learn a lot more about the car, and it just basically went from there to what it is today.
The amount of customisation in the car has to be seen to be believed. No matter how many times you look over the car, there's always something new you'll find.
Probably about 5.5 years ago we bought it, and it was very good to start with, but it didn't have the look that I wanted. It wasn't aggressive enough. It didn't have that tough look, that drift, that race GT look. It had a design in my mind of how I wanted it to look. I think it came out 100 times better than I had it in my mind.
The car successfully blends a host of different car cultures to give it its own unique style. The car was stripped back before the rear guards were flared and the front guards were fitted with VE HSV vents. A Type X front bar, Origin side skirts and rear bar. Ganador mirrors along with a custom fiberglass bonnet were fitted before the car was painted in denim blue. Shane and Christine decided to paint the tailgate and rear quarter windows to give the 180SX a whole new look.
The bonnet scoop's a little old school look. Same with the rear windows. Made the car look a lot fatter, which was something we were after. With the flared metal guards, it made the whole back end of the car a lot wider, and I like that fat, squat look. It's just a different race look. And I just liked a bit of old school look. If we all just follow each other and do the same thing, well, the car scene in Australia stagnates. You know, you've got to be innovative. You've got to move ahead.
Let's look at some of the smaller touches. How about the Origin carbon lip and hatch spoilers, or the clear vision taillights? Did you notice the vents, indicator covers and Nissan badge have all been carbon modi-coated?
Biggest influence, probably the drift look. Definitely an influence on the car, and that was probably the major part of the way we wanted it to go. What sort of styling? People have said gangster because there's a lot of carbon on it, drift, a GT look, a show look, a street, little bits and pieces of other things as well. I think we've probably got our own little niche. Very hard to categorise it.
The 18-inch deep dish Medinas look pure Jap, but are ROH items wrapped in Toyo tyres. Look inside the 9-inch wide front rims and you'll find monster 8-piston K-Sport brakes. And the 6-piston ones inside the 10-inch wide rear rims. The interior is also a lesson in class. Instead of bright, leery retrim, there's classy but tough grey leather with carbon look vinyl. The front seats are modified standard items and headrests were fitted in the back. The roof lining is also retrimmed in carbon effect vinyl with blue LEDs. The carbon theme continues with a carbon dash cover and the plastics on the seats were modi-coated to match. The gear knob, handbrake cover, pedals and steering wheel are all Momo items. Inside the hatch, more carbon, covering the custom enclosure, which houses an Alpine V12 amplifier and an Alpine 12-inch subwoofer, which has been airbrushed. Focal splits pump out the tunes, which are provided by the Pioneer head unit with fold-out screen.
So we're loyal to Nissan. Things are almost bulletproof. They're just a great car, and it's nothing better than scaring a Commodore driver when you pull up to the lights.
Being predominantly a show and street car, Shane and Christine gave the 180SX some sensible power upgrades and detailed the engine bay to within an inch of its life. Some Tomei pond cams and Tomei cam gears were dropped in to help make the most of the 2540 turbo.
When we started detailing the motor, that was what I did to EH Holders years ago. And when I started doing it to the 180, not many people did it. So that was just a little pet thing that I did. And again, contagious. It just grew from there.
An ARC intercooler, Greddy-style plenum and custom 3-inch exhaust help it breathe better, while 550cc injectors bump up the fuel and split-fire coil packs bump up the spark. The Power FC was tuned on 18 psi to give the 180SX a healthy 218 kilowatts at the wheels. An extreme clutch helps hold the power, while ISC coilovers, white line sway bars and nolethane bushes tighten up the 14-year-old chassis.
We've tried to take it to a level of 180s that hasn't been seen before, and we want people after they see it to remember the car. And we come up with some ideas that hasn't been done before. That's terrific, and if people like that idea, wonderful, because the bottom line is we built the car for ourselves.
As far as we're concerned, it's as perfect as we can get it.
Looks like modifying is sometimes like a fine wine, getting better with age.